The Iron Claw featured the famous wrestling rivalry between Kerry Von Erich and Ric Flair. Led by Zac Efron, the Iron Claw cast brought the real-life story of the famous wrestling family, the Von Erichs, to life. The captivating drama was a hit with both audiences and critics and is now one of Zac Efron's best movies. Even though it is based on a true story, the Iron Claw made some changes to the Von Erichs for entertainment purposes. Kerry Von Erich was the fourth son of famous professional wrestler Fritz Von Erich. Among the Von Erich brothers, Kerry was the one who seemed most likely to bring a world championship title home. The professional wrestler earned many accolades, including the WCWA Heavyweight Champion and WWF Intercontinental Champion. However, Kerry is mostly famous for his feud with the real-life Ric Flair from the Iron Claw, which earned him the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. How Kerry Von Erich's feud with Ric Flair started. Kerry Von Erich was not the one who was supposed to fight Ric Flair. The rivalry between Kerry Von Erich and Ric Flair is one of the most talked about feuds in wrestling. At the time it began, Ric Flair had been the NWA World Heavyweight Champion for a year until David Von Erich was tapped to take his place. Unfortunately, David died in Japan before he had the chance to face Flair and thus claim his championship. After his untimely death, his brother, Kerry Von Erich, was the one that became Ric Flair's new rival, via THESPORTSER. Of the Von Erich brothers, Kerry showed the most star power, which explains why he was the one chosen to take over as the new champion from his brother. The Iron Claw stays true to that for most of the story. However, the movie does not depict the number of times that Kerry had to defend his championship against people who were vying for it. Kerry's feud with Ric Flair grew into a Von Erich rivalry against the Fabulous Freebirds. The Von Erichs and the Fabulous Freebirds started as allies. Kevin Von Erich, Zac Efron, vs. Ric Flair, Aaron Dean Eisenberg, in The Iron Claw, 2023. The feud between the Von Erichs and the Fabulous Freebirds has a reputation as one of the greatest wrestling rivalries. The Von Erichs and the Fabulous Freebirds were initially presented as allies until the battle for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship between Kerry and Ric Flair changed the dynamic between the two tag teams. In 1992, Kerry challenged Ric Flair to a cage match where Michael Hayes was going to be a special referee. During the match, Flair knocked Kerry into Hayes, but Hayes mistakenly thought that Kerry had attacked him. Gordy then slammed the door on Kerry, and thus began their storied rivalry, via Business Insider.